Hello, my name is Taylor Berry. I am here to present about two very important bands. That is old time music, and they are an influence to bluegrass music. Uh, it is Charlie Bowman and the Hillbilly String Band and the Skillet Lickers. And I think I had a typo error. It's supposed to be Al Hopkins too. But these bands are a very important to us about how they just got started. And this I feel like I can't leave one without the other. So with the understanding. So. So who is the Hillbilly String Band? They are a bunch of people from Virginia and North Carolina. They got together and I believe it was in North Carolina. Albert Green Hopkins was the piano player. John Hopkins was the guitar player, and he done the Hawaiian guitar player. That was a very usual, unique way of a string band. Tony Alderman was the fiddler, and another fiddler was Charlie Bowman, and Frank Wilson was on the five-string banjo. They started in 1925. When they got invited to Washington, D.C., they were making their first album, and it was a big deal. It was a big deal to them, and they they've got invited to play for the president. The president, everybody was just so very excited, and they just liked every member of the band. How the band was brought, just going out in radio. They just recorded, just brought out, and they brought out popularity, and every band member they've done, they were very unique with their style, and it was not just the out of the ordinary. It was very unique, and they found that very more important. So let's see here. After they got very successful for 7 years, they they had a sudden death, and Al Hopkins, they just received word that Al Hopkins just got killed in a car crash. And after that, they tried to go on and somehow didn't feel like the need for it, and it was pretty rough. So they decided to disband. And I go on over what the band is unique, but yes, pianos, they can play folk music. I find that very, very unique. That even I found out today that pianos are very influential in bluegrass music, and Al Hopkins started something that I thought was very unique. Even though there are members and just different people from different bands, and bluegrass band would argue about it, but I believe that that pianos can babble, do unique ways. Back then, I find that very interesting that when people play piano as folk music, because the fiddle and the piano come from playing Irish folk music. So they're like, why can't we do it in like string bands and others? And so it's still like a continued argument today, I think, but I think the argument can be easily persuaded that piano can be in a band. So even Ricky Skaggs and Bruce Hornsby somehow broke some rules. I thought even though I wasn't able to upload some of their music, but when Bruce Hornsby and Ricky Skaggs teamed up together in a band, they've done unique ways, and this is the first time I heard a piano played in a bluegrass band, and it was very unique to me, and I like like hearing a band with a piano in it now too, if that makes sense. But you know, Al Hopkins, like I said, he started somewhere and breaking the rules, and that's what gives us a little bit ideas how bluegrass bands can do some rules and rule bending. Right here, the Hillbilly String Band's right here. You can hear the background as the banjo playing, and when the banjo's playing with the fiddle, they're unison too. It's very unique. Sorry for that. Charlie Bowman was a fiddler. I believe he was born in North Carolina, moved out to Johnson City, and later on when he learned how to play so many instruments and everything, they decided to move back to North Carolina. And for a while, he was attending so many fiddle contests that he would usually win first place and second place, and they give him the nickname Fiddlin' Charlie or Fox Hunt Charlie. And to me, he had a lot of ways of playing the fiddle and just bringing out with the competitive side of a fiddler. But you know, at the same time, I believe he done that just for the fun of it too. But you know, he attended so many competitions, and when he won so much, that's when Al Hopkins asked him if he wanted to make a band with him, and that's where the Hillbilly String Band come from. Here's Charlie Bowman. That was Charlie Bowman doing the fiddle tune right there. So, next band I thought was very important was Gideon Tanner and his Skillet Liquor String Band. The members were the originals: Gideon Tanner, who was the fiddle and vocals; Raleigh Puckett, who was a blind guitarist and done the vocals; and Clayton McMichigan as the fiddle, and Lan Norris as the banjo. Band was also formed in the 1920s at the same time when the Hillbilly String Band was being formed, and they were pretty successful throughout. Tanner wanted to try to make the music more of the modernized, and he wanted to make it more like a jazz swing pop in the 20s. And he felt like the music was so complex that he wanted to add the banjo as the background because the way the tunes was written and everything. And even though Michigan kind of looked down at that a little bit, but even though opinions sometimes would even prove wrong when, you know, they had become more popular. And when, you know, when band members started to decide to leave, they were just leaving one by one, and later on new additions of the members was being added, but it just carried out for a while. The reason why the band name continues because he wanted his son to, you know, continue in the fiddle and everything, which later on his son was with a band called the Georgia Wildcats. And that time, after his son left the Skillet Lickers, that's where it ended. They had so many influences, and it continued through the 1960s, even though I had a typo error. 1990s. They influenced a lot, and they've made it was mainly a big deal for the old time string revivals, I believe. And I forgot what it's called again, but here is the Skillet Lickers string band. Tell that how they've got a sound for that, and here's my works cited. Even though I kind of went over time a little bit, but you know, that I felt like that's how band, you know, these two bands are very important, you know, through bluegrass bands, and they play a major role, and I think they're a big deal and everything. So, anybody have any questions or anything?
I don't think so.